You're listening to Day 5. Run, Joseph, run. Join us at the table for a little extra. Story gets juicy here, y'all. So Mrs. Potiphar's been eyeing Joseph for quite a while. She sees an opportune time to proposition him.
And I mean, how does the enemy get at our men? Really, this is one of the ways that so many men are tempted. But I love the response in Scripture where Joseph was doing it as unto the Lord, not even as unto Potiphar. So Joseph was living and serving and doing what he did as unto the Lord. That was who he answered to. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God, is what he said.
Yeah, he pointed out that Potiphar could trust him with everything. He trusted him with everything. He was in charge of his household, but not his wife. He couldn't do this. I wouldn't do this.
I think that's evidence that Joseph had his decisions made up before the question came.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before the situation came, because you know the enemy was there to whisper in Joseph's ear, she could get you out of here, she could get you this, she could get you that. You might not be a slave anymore, she could do you all kind of favors. Yet he didn't listen to any of that because he knew where his allegiance was, and that was to the one true God. We can't wait till we get in the temptation to make a decision. We got to stand firm before that, and then we got to make sure we don't allow ourselves to get in situations that we're going to be tempted.
I believe he had set good boundaries, too. Obviously, he did not want to sin against the Lord. That was the ultimate. But I mean, you and I, you can't worry what other people think about you. Like if you have a rule that you're not going to go out to eat with someone of the opposite sex if you're married, out of respect to your spouse, you need to uphold that. Even if people think it's antiquated and silly, you're protecting your marriage. You're protecting that vow. Obey God and leave all the consequences to him. That's what Charles Stanley says, a really popular preacher.
There's no debate. You don't debate with the devil. You take your stand. You know what your stand is ahead of time, and then you just repeat that to yourself. I'm not going there. I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to do that. That kind of thing, and that helps when the temptation comes, I think.
Well, and when temptation comes and grabs you, what did he do? He ran the other way. So even though she ended with his cloak or his coat, like you bring up in the devotion, I love that. Even though she ends up with a coat and he ends up outside naked, he ran from it. And so there's so many lessons in this.
Yeah, another cool lesson is that he could have been really bitter about being in this position. He didn't have to work hard and do this work for this man that, an Egyptian. Why would his brothers sold him. He could have been kind of mad at God that he let that happen. People do that. People think God let that happen. He didn't let his brothers change his destiny.
And the scripture said that the Lord was with Joseph there too, even in prison.